Listen, I know this is taboo. I know suicide is a scourge on our nation, and it's a subject that's a little touchy. But I actually feel like I have a right to talk about it because I'm gonna kill myself someday. So like I'm a future victim of it, so I can talk about it. That's what comedians do a lot of times. They'll like caveat a joke that they're scared to tell because they don't want to get canceled. So they'll be like, but I can do this because But if I said, but I can do these jokes because I've been you'd go, oh, thank God she was okay, good. Whew. I thought she hadn't been thank God, now I can relax. That seems weird.
Kid Fury is someone who is very pivotal in pop culture. Whether people know him or not, whenever they discover who Kid Fury is, they will have some of the best laughs that they will ever have in their life. Many of us who have been enjoying Kid Fury for years had to find out very devastating news about what he's been struggling with. And every time he's talked about his suicidal ideation, I know where I was at that moment because it was something extremely vulnerable and brave for him to share. And because it happens on a podcast, I guess it's really hard for people to share their thoughts on it. I found a few articles, but I haven't seen, too many reactions to it because it's a sensitive topic. When it comes to death in general, it's usually quick or sweeping statements about it. We don't really sit with the discussion enough to, I guess, weaken the blow when a lot of us experience these things. And with Kid Fury and his co-host Crystal, you would never guess what Kid Fury is going through. That's why when he first expressed that he was just struggling to stay alive, it was at the end of an episode that was hilarious as usual, was fun and upbeat.
Yeah, still just barely surviving. What about you, friend? What's up?
Couple things. First of all, my Happy Meal thing for this week. Things that made me smile are my friends, my Moroccan Carrie.
He's so funny.
That kid.
He's hilarious.
Blessed me. Like, he said, first of all, I don't even know who you are. And secondly, my mom would never do that.
My mom would never do that.
Like,
at the time of this recording, there was a podcast episode where Kid Fury was in a very low mood, and that was the lowest I've ever heard him speak in my life on the podcast. And his host is Crystal, one of his closest friends, and she handled it really, really well. I won't be putting a clip of that here, but if you know, you know. Other than that, all their episodes are very upbeat.
And this is The Read. You can find our merch at shoptheread.com. Any other announcements or things from you before we leave?
First of all, I may not even keep this in the show. Maybe I'll have someone remove it. We'll see. But I feel like I might need to say that I perhaps need a break. I'm currently in a place in my mental health that is, as I'm being told, an emergency and very dangerous. Suicide and self-harm revolve around it. I take this show very seriously. I feel a responsibility to it. I enjoy doing it. So not doing it and missing dates gives me anxiety. However, if I want to live, I might have to reevaluate the way things are currently stacked in my life. I don't currently have any plans to do anything differently, but I'm being aggressively encouraged to remove myself from things for a bit. I also don't share much, and I haven't been very active on social a lot lately. So I guess I figured if I disappeared or something happened, I didn't want it to be like, what's going on? I'm finished speaking.
You're doing great.
Yep.
I'm glad you said something.
Yep.
You know how much we love you, and everything else can wait. There's not a single thing in this world worth more than your life. Not one thing.
It's just, it's not fair. I'm trying real hard, but I'm so tired. I like to joke, and I like this show, and even without the pressures of like, what are people going to think about it? And is it going to be funny? Which is like a weekly thing. Sometimes it's just me talking to you, you know, my friend. And that's something. And I get to feel something that's not.
Yeah.
So I like to do this show. But if I have to do things differently for a bit, then maybe I have to do things differently for a bit. And that's it. I'm done talking about it. So, what else?
No.
That's the end of the thing.
And that will be just fine. To everybody else, take care of yourselves. And yeah, we out.
And that is a big dynamic when it comes to ideations in general. Not everyone is going to be walking as if there's a dark cloud over their head, or the times that you do hear from people, they may be very happy and making light out of a lot of things. But you can tell when Kid Fury first made us aware of his struggles. One, it was a cry for help, meaning saying this publicly will add some accountability for him to work on this issue and stay alive, but he can't work on this issue alone, of course. So one thing that I think is very important, if anyone ever talks about suicidal ideation, people have to know that that is their will to live, talking about it. When people do not talk about it, that is a red flag. So to think about all the people in your life who have never brought up this topic, it might be something you want to bring up with people so that you're not finding out when it's too late. So let's mention a little bit about Crystal, because she has always been a very supportive voice when Kid Fury shares some of the most vulnerable things a person can share. She recently went to school to become a therapist, and it has been a goal and a dream of hers. It's very important to have goals and dreams if you can. She achieved that. We would hear many stories about how hard school was for her, and she was able to graduate. So her insights now are more informed when she is talking about mental health and things. She is not Kid Fury's therapist, but, she is a friend. And Kid Fury does have a therapist. And with the Read podcast, they strike a really good balance of sharing bits of their personal life while also keeping the majority of their personal life private. But with what they do share, we're able to keep up with bits and pieces and stories that give us more insight to who they are. But even now, I can't really fully tell you where does Kid Fury's suicidal ideations come from. And of course, that's not something I need to know, but I don't have that information. I think some of it comes from hopelessness and despair when it comes to the world, and then other things that are his business. Even though this is very real for people, I never understand how some people can be so amazing and not fully see that or believe that all the time. How sometimes your brain could tell you that you're not worthy of love, you're not worthy of the things that you want to pursue, and you constantly have to fight those thoughts, and some people don't. Someone like Kid Fury, I would imagine him a social butterfly. I would imagine that he is one of the most confident people. He is one of the most confident people in the room when he walks into it. I would think that he would have an amazing love life, because who would not want to be with Kid Fury? But sometimes people get in their own way, and of course their personalities are complex. So someone can be very funny and inviting in one way, and then, have too much social anxiety to go into a room of people. The audio might change and be a little different from this point from the last clips. Kid Fury's vulnerability did not stop there. He continued to share more about his mental health and his will to live, and even an attempt. I will share a bit of it here, and we'll take out some parts.
Would you like to share with the girlies at home in the wellness check how you have been, how you're doing, how things are flowing in your life, in your mind, in your scalp?
Okay.
Any particular tea for the girlies?
Well, things are a mess, but slowly becoming more organized. I started a new antidepressant. And I'm feeling pretty hopeful about that young lady. I feel like things are trending in a positive direction, but it is the end of the semester, so I'm very fucking tired. And every other day there's a new 8-page paper to turn in. There's a new project. I'm still seeing clients. I'm seeing all kinds of clients. I'm seeing couples. I'm doing group therapy. Like, I'm really in it right now. And so yeah, just, worn out and tired, but doing my best and feeling pretty good about myself overall. What about you?
That's great. Let's go ahead and discuss me.
Okay. Let's do that.
I'll do my little check-in.
Yeah, you're posing.
So, all right. As many of you probably know by now, our spring tour was canceled, summer rather. I had to take some time off to get better. So I'm going to basically tell the story of what happened.
Okay.
I am not going to get too detailed, but I am going to give a trigger warning for those of you who are severely depressed or suffering from suicidal ideation or attempts. So, where to begin? And also, forgive me if I make jokes throughout this. This is like...
This is your process. You do whatever you need to do.
So, woo!
And we will just listen.
So, Gosh, all right. Why am I nervous? So, like, it's been about a year since I moved to Los Angeles. And a big part of my anticipation in coming here was this thought of like doing life differently, like trying to approach this new environment and new job and new yada yada with new energy and motivation, and I'm gonna get a slice of life. What so like I was very eager to like come out here and break out of my shell and try new things and like be a badass. Life still lifed, and I have not been doing the greatest job of that. So skipping forward, been here a long ass time. I went over to Coachella the first weekend to, once again try something new, being I'd never gone before. Just wanted to have a good time. And I just was coasting, and I have been for like many weeks, many months. I mean, like we had the point last year when we had to take a break because I was losing it. So anyway, pretty much got through like the first 2 nights of Coachella just fine or whatever. I was kind of trying my best, but that last night, for whatever reason, it felt like every little thing the universe was sending my way made me just feel small. And by the end of the day, I had never felt so insignificant. And I'm not entirely sure why, but I just felt like nothing was right for me. I just didn't feel like being here anymore or whatever. And so I was like, God, I don't want to be here anymore. I just don't want to be alive. Like, everything sucks. I'm gonna call someone. So I called one person, but I called Candace. She was asleep, I'm sure. It was like the middle of the night. I called you. You picked up. And I just remember you looking at me like with a concerned look on your face. Obviously, it was late, and you were just kind of like, "Where are you?" or whatever. And I just remember before I could say anything or like really get out how I was feeling, poof, my phone dies. And then not only does the phone die, the charger station or whatever was just outlets, but I didn't have like the little I couldn't charge the phone at all, so I couldn't do anything about it. I just remember time, and I have the really long iPhone cord. I don't remember anything after that until waking up on the ground. I remember waking up laid out on the ground in the middle of this park or wherever we at, and thinking for half a second, like, I'm really comfortable, but why am I on the ground? Like, what? I hope nobody notices that I'm all laid on the ground like this. What's going on? And then I look over and I realize what happened, or what I had done, I remember. And I have like a full panic attack, hyperventilating into the ground, freaking out. There was like a couple that walked past me that were I'll never forget the look on like the guy's face. He was like, something wrong with this nigga. He's probably over right now. I'm not gonna say nothing. Like, there was just like, it was very obvious But it's fucking Coachella, so they are probably like on bath salts or whatever. So they beat it. And then I'm just like losing my shit. And then another guy is walking past and he stops and he's like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need anything? Do you need some water? Or like, did you have too much or whatever?" And I told him what happened. And he kind of just like came over to me, like sort of cradled me. Got like probably in his mid-20s, late 20s, maybe 30, maybe. And he was just trying to like speak like positive energy into me or whatever. He asked me where my friends were, walked me back over to where we were staying, gave me like this. He had like a stone. He must have been like a yoga instructor or some shit, nigga. Like he had like a gemstone necklace that he gave to me. When he took me back over to the place, of course, I'm bawling because it's like a pretty rock. Oh my god. Well, I don't know. And then that Friday, I checked into a hospital. Stayed there for a while, and you know, that was...
Kid Fury did not have to share this. I have no idea how he came to the conclusion to share this information and how helpful it could be to other people. And I feel like the audience of the podcast has taken great care of Kid Fury and have allowed him to share these things, whether it has the impact he wants or not. One of the reasons I think sharing things like this are so impactful, because it sheds a light on the complexity. You can see Kid Fury leading a theater full of people through a comedy special or a live podcast. But when he goes home and he's alone, or when he's out after a concert, he could feel extremely low. And all of a sudden, that weight of, I don't want to do this anymore, is extremely heavy. I don't know when there was a turn in where we felt like we weren't as complex as we are, and the ways that we need to express ourselves has to make sense from what we've seen in other people, or maybe our imagination has been stifled in how to express or explain who we are. For me, I'm really working on thinking different, talking different, really stepping outside the boxes that I've put on my social ability, my imagination, my self-expression, because that's a part of my will to live, to know that the ways that I think, express myself is actually only half of what I'm capable of. And to know that it takes effort to step out of that box. It takes a lot of effort. I constantly have to slow down my speech and re-say things, because I'm like, I don't want to say things how I've seen played over and over again on social media. I want to say the words that are authentic to my feelings, and I don't want to find quick solutions for the words that I actually want to say and that describe my feelings, without also becoming obsessed with getting to the root of how I'd like to express myself, or being obsessed with stepping out of that box. It's going to take reading a lot more things. It's going to take communicating with so many different people who are luckily very open-minded. It's going to take talking to people who dare to try something different and be different. I think the way Kid Fury makes jokes is a constant reminder of how to be different and think outside of the box.
It's just like, girl, it literally feels like I'm back in college.
Good.
But my major is sadness.
Mm-hmm.
Hogwarts, school of get sad and misery.
Kid Fury's creativity motivates me a lot, or I should say inspires me. Cultivating those people who you can see trying to defy the limits that have been placed on them has been a guiding force for me. If anything, I scroll social media to find people who can inspire me. And I give up scrolling when I just feel like I'm seeing people trying to be other people. And that's also fun to do as well. I do like also just mirroring what I see other people doing. So it's not to say that is bad. There are some things that we are compelled to do, and there are other things that we do out of habit. And when I say compelled to do, that can also be mistaken for a habit. The things you are compelled to do are the things that keep coming up over and over in your mind that you want to try, that you do when no one's watching. And now the habits are things that you do, you've adapted over time, whether you like it or not. And now you just do it without even thinking, for better or for worse.
Last but not least, I wanted to say that I have had the spirit of suicide on my back very heavy for the past couple of weeks, even after we returned from our break. And thoughts and energy is something I've battled for most of my life, but it was like, it just got to a very terrifying place, and I really thought that it was about to be a wrap for me for a while. And I had to kind of think differently. I feel like I had to reach like the lowest of my lows and try to decide, like really decide to live differently. I had to kind of put my pride and my ego aside for a bit and just accept that I don't have it all figured out, and that there are loads of people in my life that love me and want to help, even if we don't know what would be helpful. I feel hopeful for the future again, which I didn't have for a couple years now. So I just wanted to say, I know that that spirit of suicide is very, it's running rampant right now for a lot of people, whether you've spoken up about it or you're holding it in like I have been doing. Take it from me that you're not alone, and your life is worth living, and you can figure out how to get to the happy. It's a hard fight. You're probably going to have to let go of a lot of shit. You're probably going to have to remove yourself from a safety blanket or whatever wall you put up to try to protect yourself from shit. Like, let that shit go, get uncomfortable, cry, scream, do whatever you have to do to save yourself, because like, you deserve it. So
I'm proud of you, friend. I'm proud of you for saying that. That took a lot.
man,
Oh, I love you so much.
I love you too.
Do you want to just... Yeah, okay. Let's just cut it off. We'll see y'all next week.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
You don't have to cut this. It's fine. Bye.
Now, in this moment of Kid Fury expressing to us, again, this struggle with the will to live, what I really understood at this point is that this is uncontrollable, or this is pervasive. You may think people who struggle with the will to live have no friends, have experienced a deep traumatic event, but sometimes it's just this pervasive thought that is in the cards that someone has been dealt. And Kid Fury luckily has the resources to treat what he is going through, whether it's certain medication, a therapist, friends and family, an animal. Having a pet has truly impacted Kid Fury's will to live, thankfully. So it's complicated. I don't understand it. I hope that I do come to understand this phenomenon that takes so many people away from us, for better or for worse. I do hope to understand this to make sure that understanding this is also my will to live, so that, yeah, just a confusion and lack of understanding doesn't be the reason that I succumb to some Very horrible ending. I cannot wait to talk about people who are going through certain illnesses or are in the hospital and they have like assisted end of life care. I do think that this is just such a vast topic. I just find death interesting. I don't know how other people don't. It's not alarming to me. It's inevitable. It's extremely the epitome, the embodiment of being a human being, of being alive. But yeah, in the end, I hope you keep going because I will.